Hey, hey! Today we're going to do my version of, I think it's called Plein Air. We're doing my version of it in honor of Miss Susan Smith. And so we're going to do some fun stuff today using the sunflower stamp. And as many of y'all know that follow us, Susan Smith came to see us over the weekend. She was showing me this art that this lady does on old library cards. And many of y'all, I don't know, I don't know where y'all are on the chronological spectrum of age, but back in the old days, you had library cards and they stamped dates on it when you had to have your book back. But they don't do that anymore, I guess. Everything, is shoot it with a computer and get that little code. But she paints on those things, and they were the cutest little cards. So Susan was showing me all that. Well, I'm going to do my version using IOD stamps of what I think is pronounced Plein Air. That's not how, P-L-I-E-N, I think is how you spell it, but you say it plain. So we're going to work on the sunflower mold, and I'm going to show you DIY paint. I'm going to show you the making powders, and I'm going to do something I hope that y'all think is really fun. These are some that I already did, just messing around the other day, and now I'm going to show you, we're going to do some more today, okay? All right, so I was messing around, this is just a piece of, white craft paper, so I was messing, this is watercolor paper now that we're going to use today. And one thing I want to show you is this is yellow leftover paint from yesterday, y'all. I left it right here. I did that on purpose. I left it right here in this little bucket, and it dried hard as a rock. And all I've done is squirt some water in here, and now this is how we're going to use. So I just want to show you how easy it is to reactivate DIY paint. And I want to show you this for a couple of reasons. One is I want to show you that if you leave it out and you let it dry and you squirt some water on it, you can still have paint. Another reason I want to point this out to you is so you can understand visually how water reactive this paint is. And so that's why sometimes if you've got a lot of colors going on in a situation and you try to brush a sealer over it, it reactivates it and you get that shadowy kind of a smear. And especially if you're doing like the buffalo check I did the other day. You want to be very careful when you apply a top coat to that. And sometimes a spray top coat, which is not always, is environmentally friendly, and you need to do it outside, is a better way because this paint is so water reactive. All right, so we're going to paint this sunflower here today, okay? Using my reconstituted dried up old paint. It's going to be like a watercolor. So I'm just looking at this just to try to determine how I want my colors to go, okay? And it's going to be a very loose kind of a thing, and we're just going to kind of start. I'm going to let this dry for a minute, and we're going to come back to it. In the meantime, we're going to move over to this one. I'm making watercolor with DIY paint. This is weathered wood, and I didn't really have much of it left over yesterday, so I had to add just maybe a dime size of paint in there. All right, so now I'm just going to ink my stamp, okay? DIY black ink. All right, so I've stamped this with black. You
Wait till you guys see this. It's going to be so cool.
You could probably use stone gray.
Absolutely could use gray.
And we might use stone gray on the other one just to see how it looks. And now we're just going to stamp this down. All right.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Show them that real quick. It's a little bit up close so they can see how cool that is. So if you're not a fan of coloring in the lines, or you're nervous about it, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, and it's a great way to not have to color in the lines. So, and now let me show you this. So now you can take a little micron pen. This is a 01. Some of mine are drying out. This one's good. So here's what you do with your little teeny tiny micron pen. Where you're out of the lines, you just start making little squiggles, okay? And they don't have to be, they just have to be squiggles. They don't have to be perfect, all right? You just kind of mimic the leaves, right? See what I'm doing?
I'll have to show them that up close.
So see? Can you see how I've just loosely outlined the rest of my flowers where I was outside the lines? And I didn't outline them with any, you know, I didn't try to stay in the line, and I didn't try to follow the exact line, because you're just trying to create the illusion of petals in this particular sense, okay? So it's, in a way, it's a form of color blocking. Personally, I think it's an easy way for those of us who are not what I would describe a canvas artist. It is a way to build your confidence level toward painting, you know, and it's just kind of a foolproof way to do it, because there's not really any right or wrong way, okay? So I encourage you to try it. And so now I'm going to take a little bit of my orange pigment, okay? And this, you need, it is really bright. And so you want to, I'm just going to kind of drop it in.
Carol said,
we're going to stamp this one, and then it's going to need to dry, and we'll let it dry while we paint the background. All right, so I'm just going to tap a little bit of this out on my work surface here. And I just have a little cup of water. I'm using the same brush, y'all. I just keep rinsing it out. It's just like watercoloring.
And we're just using some of the new pigments.
New pigments, and I'm going to take
called
this.
Vivacious. Is that one?
One of them is Violicious, and one of them is Patchouli. The one I'm using right now is Violicious.
Okay, the lighter of the color.
The lighter of the two, yes. And I'm going to just wet my brush a little more. And I think I want the light. Do I want the light outside and the dark inside? I think maybe so. I think I want to go out to the light. Now see, let me show you something. So right here I have more petal than I do color. So I just came back in with my little pen and made a squiggle right there. You see that? You see how, just see how easy it moves? It's just like watercolor, just like it. Personally, I think it might be a little better than watercolor. I don't move watercolor around as easy as I do these pigments. Thank y'all so much. So grateful. I appreciate you more than words can say. Peace. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. Take care.